Stars and Crowns got together and they were going to meet over lunch to talk about the comp plan for the Success Kit. And I said, why don't you guys meet before lunch? Because everyone here likes to meet with you at lunch. And so they looked at me and I said, I'll just take over. And I think Manfred can vouch for me. I don't think there was any hesitation, was there? No, they're not here except for Manfred, which is great. I want to thank all of them because it's really nice to be trusted, because any of them could have said, well, we need to be there to see what Alex is going to say, and he might try to just take over all our people. And, well, that part they'd be right. I'm going to try to take over all our people. But. So kudos to them as they meet right now, so they can be available to all of you to meet with for lunch. And I know it's a really important time to sit and be able to talk over lunch and not in the training atmosphere. So thanks to all of them. Really quick, everybody have a pen and paper in front of them? You know me, you know how I like to operate. Let's start this session by writing down 3 things you are grateful for today. I will join you. If you feel like you have to find something to be grateful for, that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so the leaders trusted me to lead you through this session. I need all of your trust. Most of you, I'm looking around, I've been in a boot camp or event where you've heard me talk a little bit about this, so repetition is good. I might be a little stronger with you. I know we have mostly nurturing culture, so what I'm about to talk about, it is strong, and it might be a little different, and it might turn you off, but we're still going to be friends, right?
Yep.
So I need you to open your mind, even though I might turn you off a little bit, I need you to have your mind open for this concept. So even if it doesn't apply exactly to you, you are going to have people on your team that it does apply to. And understanding this will help you understand how a promoter, how a schemer, how a salesman, and how a strategist works. And I guarantee Ben and I are very alike when it comes to personality. Slight differences, but very alike when it comes to this. So when you work with somebody like Ben, who's a bit of a bulldog, this concept is right up his alley. So you might find that this resonates with you, and you find something. I just need one of you to get it and apply it. And I think there'll be more of you. But if it doesn't resonate with you, I need you to take it in, because it will resonate with somebody you work with, and understanding how they're motivated will help you work with them. So I need you to clear your mind right now. We're going to do a quick visualization. And I want you to think of something. All of you have a why, right? We've all had a talk. You have a strong why. I want you to get really granular, down to a nitty-gritty today. I'm going to explain something material, and I'm going to encourage you to really go for something that you want, not something altruistic. And if it is altruistic, I want you to get super specific real quick here and really visualize it. So for me, I want a killer off-road vehicle. Everybody heard of an FJ Cruiser? Okay, it's not a practical car for me right now. The back doors are suicide. I've got 3 kids. It doesn't, it's just not practical for city living in San Diego. There's not a lot of off-roading. So at some point, that is my dream vehicle. People dream of Corvettes or whatever type of cars. For me, it's a kick-butt off-road vehicle. For me, to really visualize it, I need to sit in it. I need to see the color. I need to smell it. It won't be leather, but you can't wash out leather, really. Finally, you can. So see, I know what I want out of this. I know it has to have a rack. I know what colors I'll accept. I can see myself. When I see the road I'm driving down, I see my kids in the back. This is how granular I need you to get. So just take a minute and think of something. If it's travel, I want to travel. Get specific. Where are you traveling? What road are you on? What hotel are you staying at? Where are you going? Are you going on a walk? Who are you with? Picture yourself. You need to close your eyes. Go ahead. If not, that's okay too. I'm not going to make you. If it's time with your kids, what are you doing with your kids? Which kid is it? Your favorite kid, I hope. I made that mistake once of telling my youngest child, who got mad at me, that I did something for her older brother. I said, well, that's because he's my favorite. And I was completely kidding, and I found out you never say that to a child. Especially a daughter, because they'll hold it against you for life. So anyway, back to our visualization. I want you to give yourself permission if you want to be materialistic. If it's money, how much money and what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to spend it on that first day? Where is it going? If it's a savings account, how much? I know what it's like not to have a savings account. I know what I wanted in that savings account. I know what it's like not to have financial security. I know what I need to have that and what it does for me. So take a minute. What is it? Give yourself permission to really be specific and make it about you if you want. Plant it in your subconscious. Make it powerful. Make it big, make it strong, make it deep, make it specific. Got it? Plan it. Let's get our subconscious working for us instead of against us. The great part of visualization is your unconscious mind doesn't know if it's real or not. But you can have your unconscious mind help you make decisions that work toward those things. So I encourage you to spend 5 minutes a day visualizing. It works. All right, let's move forward. As I was driving up here today, I saw a gal doing push-ups in a dirt-graded lot. She was probably, I'm going to guess, 20, 23. Push-ups. And I'm not talking about smooth dirt, like, you know, the kind with rocks, if you fell and your kids fall in and they get scraped and there's rocks in their leg and stuff. Like, she was doing push-ups on that. And I slowed down because I was just in awe. And for me, it was a sign. Like, what I'm about to talk about is perfect, and this is just a sign that I'm supposed to talk about this today. What do you think makes somebody like that do push-ups on rocks?
Determination.
Commitment. Strong why.
Yeah, I mean, I think some point she was beaten somewhere, not physically. Somebody beat her on the basketball court. Somebody beat her somewhere, like there's something that happened to her, and she says, no more. And maybe it's weight loss, maybe it's to being fit. Maybe she's quit on herself when she's wanted to get in better shape. And some of her motivations, fighting what she hates. There's some enemy in her mind, and doing push-ups in the most painful situation motivated her. She got motivated to do it. When I first started camping, how many here people camp? I grew up camping, and I enjoyed camping when my dad was my dad was a hunter, and I didn't really like to hunt. I just liked spending time with him, and I loved the outdoors. It was tent camping just with my dad. When I went with my parents and my siblings, it was always a nightmare, and I just didn't like it. So when my wife wanted to camp 6, 7 years ago, I was like, oh, we have little kids. I'm like, no way am I tent camping with little kids. Nightmare, no way. Camping causes parents to fight, is what my subconscious said. It causes parents to get in massive arguments and not talk to each other for days. I didn't want that with my wife. But she was relentless, so I said, listen, I'm not getting in a tent with toddlers. But I bought this little tent trailer, you know what that is? Right? It was cheap, I got it, it was old, and we fixed it up a little bit, and we went camping, and they loved it, and I loved it. And one of the first trips we were on was near Sedona, Arizona, in this little old campground that was built by the Army when they were building roads through Oak Creek Canyon. And the bathroom was kind of old. It wasn't a flush toilet, it was a building, like a vault toilet, I guess you'd call it. And one of my sons was, at that time, 5 or 6, my middle son. And he went to go to the bathroom by himself. And he was rather adamant that he could do this by himself. We were very close to the bathroom. From here, maybe to the back door on the left. Very close. So I actually kind of walked him halfway there, and he got mad. And he went in and shut the door, did his business. And about 5 minutes later, I heard him screaming for me. And not, "Dad, will you help me?" Not, "Dad, Dad, I need you." It was like a bloody murder scream. And the vision in my head was that somebody was in that bathroom. And it could have been a guy the size of Ben, it didn't matter. Whoever was in there was toast. Gone. So I got over there, and it turns out the bathroom door had just gotten stuck. And he freaked out. So we come back, and I explain what happened to my wife, and she said, "Do you see what you just did?" I said, "What do you mean?" She said, "You jumped over that bush." I said, "What bush?" So she points to a bush.
What bush?
She said, "You cleared it. You didn't even touch it. You cleared it."
That's what happened.
Now, was I motivated to do something superhuman by the love for my son? Most definitely. But I was more motivated by the fact that I hated that something bad might be happening to him. Right? Anybody parent knows that. The worst thing that could happen to you, I'd rather kill me with paper cuts before any one thing happens to one of my kids. But that hatred of something bad happening to him made me do something that I never could have done. No matter how much I worked, I couldn't jump over that again. So back in 1992, the first election I ever voted in, many of you have already heard this story, but I'm going to tell it again. I was lost, I was 18, didn't know what I wanted to do in life, really didn't have much motivation. I could vote in a presidential election, neither guy really appealed to me. I didn't really understand or care about politics till I heard Ross Perot on an interview talk about his business and how he builds successful businesses, and he said, "What I do is simple. When I'm looking to build a team, I look for people who love to win. And if I can't find any of them, I look for people who hate to lose." And I can still feel it, like a wave. Like, whoa, it's okay for me not to love to win. I've never loved to win. I've won hockey championships. I've been with companies that have been huge. It wasn't the success that drove me. It was the hatred of it, the fear of failure, and the hatred to lose. I hate to lose. I hate it. How do I channel that into motivation and production? In any time I lack motivation now in my life, I look for something that I hate. I look for something I hate. If you look throughout history, people who are sick and tired of a situation cause them to do great things. People don't quit smoking because they want to be healthy. Very few. They quit because they're sick and tired of it. They're sick and tired of spending the money and smelling like smoke and what it's doing to them. They get sick and tired of it. So all of you that need something to love, to motivate you, I want to encourage you to say, what really drives you? Is there an enemy in this world you can fight? And I don't mean people or a country, bless you. I mean, most of us hate cancer, right? We would do anything. Bless you. It's an epidemic. Most of us would do anything for someone we knew that was in that type of situation because we hate that they're in that situation. Does everybody know Chev over here? He's in the blue shirt.
Yes.
I just met Chev yesterday, but I don't know a lot about his situation. But he overcame something that many people wouldn't. I can't speak for him. Maybe it was his love of life. But I would venture at some point in there was he hated that situation he was in. And he hated the fact that doctors or whoever else was probably telling him, you're going to be in this situation and you can't do this. Don't you hate it when someone says you can't do something? This is what I'm talking about. It's not hatred of a person. It's not walking around hating. It's finding something that you can fight for, that people will join your fight. It's taking a stand. I encourage all of you to channel any anger you have and any hate you have, because God gave us these emotions for a reason. How many people here maybe beat themselves up mentally or told them that they shouldn't be angry, they shouldn't carry anger, and they shouldn't hate something in their life? Or they've hated something that maybe they thought wasn't worth hate. Hate's a wasted emotion. I used to think that. Right? Hate's a wasted emotion. What if you could channel your hate and your anger? I'm not talking about walking around angry, but I believe people who walk around with suppressed anger, that manifests in sickness, illness, whether it's mental illness, physical illness, right? Not being able to let go of a situation or channel it. What if you could channel your anger and hatred in a situation into powerful motivation that impacted so many people? Because if you look at every situation in the history of the world where people got together and did something great, there was hate involved, I guarantee it. They hated something and they wanted it to change. And they channeled that into what they love. So when you run into people, Ben, you hate to lose, right? Ben might hate to lose more than me. Ben and I could probably do anything. Chess, we could go play ping pong, and yes, it would be fierce. Both of us hate to lose. Ben and I would probably never argue, although we've been in a couple little, whatever, but we see eye to eye. But you want to see Ben and I go toe to toe on something? Anything. How many lids can you put on body balance in a minute? You want to see Ben get motivated, right, to do something? Because he would hate to lose, no matter who. So, whether something I'm talking about with the hatred of a situation resonates with you personally or not, do you see how hatred can motivate people in a very powerful and good way? For those of you that read the Bible or like the Bible, and I'm not religious, I don't have a religion, but there's a verse in the Bible, Romans 12:9, that says, love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. It seems pretty basic, right? Love must be sincere. You should hate things that are evil, right? We should all hate things. So there's a lot of evil things. And here's the thing, when you take a stand, people want to join your fight. People want to join you. Isn't that what we want? Taking a stand creates massive empathy. Here's something else that creates massive empathy. Knowing what people fear. Again, we have fear for a reason. There we go. Anybody else? You know that fear and excitement, doctors have studied this. Fear and excitement, your heartbeat is the same. Any tenseness you get in the body is the same. Whether you're afraid or you're excited. It's just how you channel it. It's the same thing with what I'm talking about. And when you understand somebody's fears, when you know what people's fears are out there, and you can challenge those right away and help people overcome those right away, do you see how that creates massive empathy? Does anybody need a definition of empathy? No, you're probably afraid. If I was in the crowd, I'd be afraid to put up my hand. But empathy is the most powerful marketing force there is. I know what you've been through, and I can help you with it. I understand it. If not, I want to find out, and I want to be empathetic. I want to know what you're going through so I can help. I've walked in your shoes. I hate debt. I hate when people have to drop their kids off at daycare and they don't want to. I'm sick and tired of the great people I see out here not getting what they want out of life. You see how that can be motivating? It motivates me every single day. I hate it when I lose. But you know what I hate more? When you lose. It's my greatest motivation. I hate to see my kids lose. I hate to see you guys lose. I would lay down in front of a train to make all of you successful. You see how powerful that is? I can feel it in myself, and I'm asking all of you to channel what you hate into motivation. It's very empowering to be able to Number one, forgive yourself for hating something or having anger about something. But it's more empowering to channel that. If you want to right now, just write down a couple things that you hate that would motivate you. Little floaty things that pass by you from the lights. Bright lights. Seriously, things in life that would motivate you. Or you know what? Maybe you do love to win. So write down some things that would motivate you about loving to win. What would you love to have in your life more than anything else? Am I getting through to you about hate, that it's not a wasted emotion?
Yes.
That it can be powerful? Does anybody penalize themselves here for having hate? Or thought it's wrong to have hate? We have a nurturing culture, which is awesome. But I want to encourage all of you to really look. Do you love to win? Or do you hate to lose? I have two sons. One of them hates to lose. Him and I do not play board games well together. I have another son who doesn't hate to lose. He likes to win. We play a lot of sports together. Both are fine. But you're going to grow a big team, right? Leaders know what buttons to push at people. They know what motivates people. And you might be driven by a great love of health. I'm not. I'm driven by someone who hates the situation they're in, who hates the fact that they're overweight and they can't hike up a hill. A lot of this has to come from your personal experience. You can't just decide, for me, the hatred of cancer is tough. I've never known anyone personal in my life that's had cancer. Isn't that? It's a little strange, right? I'm pretty blessed there. I mean, I've known people, but I've never had a relative that's had cancer. So for me to join a big cancer fight, I would go run a 10K for cancer because I like to do those things. But for me to have a big, powerful why around that is tough. But for me to have a powerful why around somebody who gives up on their fitness is easy. I hate that. I hate when people don't live a fulfilled life. You see how this could motivate me to go out and talk to people? Who's going to the boot camp next week? And who's going to the boot camp that at some point in their life, and maybe right now, maybe next week, would rather be there for when they talk in the morning in the boot camp, but when it's time to make calls, maybe just find a way to get to lunch early. Right? Or, oh crap, my phone needs charged. I should have charged it before I got it. Oh, my list is small. I better work on my list for the next 3 days before I do anything else. All those are natural. But you know when there's something you want, you'll jump over that bush. Right? Everybody in here is a winner. You're a winner because you're here. You see things a little differently. We're all weird. I'm trying not offending anybody, right? We're all a little weird. We're all different. We're all unique. But no matter what you love, I know there's some enemy out there for you. Not a person. But there's some cause that you can get people to join your fight. Because there's a lot of people like us out there that just don't know what's possible. So if you take one thing away, what drives you? What drives you? Back to that vision. A vague, altruistic, I'd like to travel is real nice. Doesn't work for 99% of us. It might be tough to hear, it might not be politically correct. Spending time with your children doesn't work. Getting very specific and saying, I missed my son's basketball game because I had to be at the office. And that will never happen again, and I'm going to get to a place where that never happens again. Works. I will never see the look in my son's eye again of disappointment. I hate to disappoint people. When I disappoint anybody in this room, I don't care who's been with Life Force less than 3 months. Or maybe you're not even signed up or brand new. Anybody here? I hate to disappoint most of you, and I don't know you. But if you called and said, I'm really disappointed in the company or what happened or Estes Park, oh, I hate that. I'm going to do anything I can to change that. Ben has called me and he's been disappointed in something I've done and the company's done, right?
That sounds very true.
Janek has called me too, the same thing. I mean, Thomas, I can just, all of you are guilty. I hate to disappoint people. I don't think it's a weakness. I know what motivates me. I hate to be disappointed too. So I have a beef with some of you. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, one takeaway today. What drives you? Do you know? And past that, second takeaway, do you know what drives the people on your team? Because my team isn't the Alex show. And I'm really excited for anybody coming to the boot camp next week on Friday and Saturday. You're going to meet Brian Krogstad, our new Senior Director of Marketing. For those of you that found out that we hired him or saw it on an email or heard from somebody and your first thought was what happened to Alex, I hope I've dispelled that by being here.
We'll see.
Is Brian replacing me? Yes, but I'm not leaving.
You're not.
I pushed hardest for Brian to be here.
Yay.
Brian being here frees me up to do this.
Yay.
I'm not motivated to spend hours editing a book that's going to go in all be new orders. Brian is. I'm motivated to do this. I hate to spend hours on minutia, and I can't look at things in a creative eye necessarily, and what I'm great at, what I love, is taking feedback from all of you and saying, hey Brian, this is what they need, and then him doing it and being able to take it to all of you and say, you told me what you needed.
Thank you.
But under there is, I hate to disappoint you, so I'm not going to. Do you know what drives you? And if you don't, it's okay. Find it. Those of you going to the boot camp, you're going to need it next week. You need to step your game up to the next level, and this is one way to plug in and do it. Knowing what drives you, and not being afraid to say, hey, there's a few things in this world I hate. Not walking around angry, but releasing that. If you have any trapped anger, how can you channel that into something positive to make a difference for potentially thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people? I know a lot of you in this crowd. I know a lot of what you're looking for, mostly in a bigger way, in a vague way. But I know enough about most of you to know there's something that you hate, that you'd like to see change in your life and the lives of others. Know what drives you. It's one of the biggest things you can do. This wasn't your typical, you need to have a big why. Big whys are nice. Let's go out there and know what drives us. Alright? I want to see all of you give whatever you want in life force. So, thank you for trusting me today. Thank you because the leaders are here, except for Manfred, who's the leader. I'm not slapping you, buddy.
Cameraman.
And I'm on camera so they can come back and check.
Ah.
I did have to be on.